Call for a motion for the acceptance of the minutes of September 27, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Been moved, seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Public forum for this evening? No one for public forum. Move on to our presentations for this evening. Call up to the podium Ron Chason to discuss our elementary intramural proposal. Good evening, Ron.
Lots of exciting things going on in the athletic department. But this proposal that I'd like to present to you, I think, is the most exciting, at least for the future. It's an elementary intramural proposal. You may not know this, but almost every school in our league, in the Mahal, is having some of the same difficulties we are in terms of numbers, in terms of getting students out for teams. There's lots of teams that are barely fielding a team. One of the varsity boys soccer teams in the league this year had to drop boys soccer. They just didn't have enough players. It's not uncommon. So I'm hoping that the elementary intramural will have a twofold effect. One, it will stimulate and get kids interested in several different sports that we'll look at, and also start to make them more competent, teaching skills. I don't know if any of you play golf. I wished I'd played in high school. I'd be, the time to learn new things is when you're young, and you just absorb it. I watched it with my own son playing musical instruments. They don't ask questions. They say, oh, this is the way you do it. And so I think in terms of teaching younger students sports-specific skills at an early age will help, letting them have fun, playing whatever, soccer or volleyball or softball, whatever the sport is. You'll see all of them that we have in mind. I think it bodes well for the future if we can do something like this. So, yeah, I guess I want to just get into it. I do know, as a coach of over 25 years, high school basketball and soccer, you can't teach your athletes all that they need to learn in that sport in the 3 months that you have. You have to have, it can't start in 9th grade and by senior they're really good. It starts with 3rd and 4th and 5th grade and over time, and then by the time they're senior. You can't work with them for a couple months a year and expect miracles from them. It takes a long time, and I can attest to that myself. So the purpose of this program will be to teach fundamentals. When we do this intramural, and we'll go into it in a little bit more depth, it will be focused on a particular sport, and that is all the students enrolled in that program will be doing during that time. It won't be, for a half hour we'll do soccer, but the other half hour it will be soccer for 1 hour, 4 days a week. It's going to support the varsity teams that we have. We're not going to have a lacrosse intramural. We don't have a lacrosse varsity team. So every intramural that we propose to run will correspond with that sport at the varsity level in the high school. The gist of the intramural will be skill building, teaching the skills for that particular sport. They'll have contests that involve the skills, small-sided games to continue to teach those skills. I remember personally, I'm probably 4th grade, and just to give you an example of what I mean. So basketball. So they set up cones, and we had to dribble through the cones. And the cones represented a person. So if the cone was here, I had to dribble with my right hand to get it so the person would dribble here with it. And then you had to read through, and then you had to shift in this hand to go around this cone. So that's what I mean by contest. So if you got 20 young kids, maybe you got 5 on a team, and it's a little relay race going through, and it's teaching dribbling skills. It's just an example of what I'm saying. But a small-sided game, skills, contests, sports-specific. This will be part of what the elementary calls extended day. It's a before-school activity. It will run 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 7:40 to 8:40. Each sport, and I'm going to list them, I think, on the next slide, will be for 6 weeks with a maximum of 40 students in the intramural. 40 students. 3rd and 4th graders, Mondays and Wednesdays, 40 students in 3rd and 4th grade. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5th and 6th graders, a different 40 students. So over the course of a session, we'll be servicing 80 different 3rd through 6th graders. Worked out a 6-week timeline for each sport, and this lists the sports so you can see them. There's a 2-week break between each where enrollment or sign up will be sport specific. Joey or Susie may want to sign up for soccer, but they don't want to sign up for basketball. Every 6 weeks, there'll be a new sign-up, depending what you like, the student signing up. There's, like I say, a 2-week break. It works out really well over the course of the year for the 6 sessions. And the sports, football and field hockey in that first 6-week session, doesn't have to be, I mean, girls could sign up for football or boys could, whatever. Volleyball in the next session, basketball, soccer, and baseball, softball would be the really, I guess, the 7 sports over the 6 sessions. I talked to the high school coaches, almost all of them at this point, the varsity coaches, and we're really hoping that we'll have the coaches themselves want to get, they may not be the soccer coach may not be the person that's teaching soccer in this intramural or running the intramural, but they all want to go down at least one day and talk to the kids and give them the varsity coaches here. But more importantly, they're going to try to get high school students to go down. I envisioned it as earning community service time to work with. It could be like sports mentors with the 3rd through 6th graders. So we hope to involve the high school students that are available and some of the older students, the juniors and seniors. I'm sure some of them will be free in that time if we can get them up early enough. So that would involve some high school students as well. Just giving you the breakdown of how we'll sign them up. The parent permission slips, the teachers, the PE teachers in the elementary school see all the elementary students over the course of the week. We'll hand out permission slips. They'll take them home. As I said, there'll be a new sign up for every sport, for every new unit that comes up. They'll be returned to the main office. I worked it out with Principal I. It's a first come, first serve. So the first 40 students to sign up, we close it. And same with the 5th and 6th grade. And once again, each unit will have its own sign up. I envision for the 40 students 2 instructors for each session. So there'll be a 20-to-1 ratio of students to instructor. It's Monday through Thursday, as we already said. Compensation, I stayed out of that, but in accordance with the contract. 6 weeks. 4 hours a week. It's a total of 24 hours for each sport. I have a feeling you might have some questions. I did ask our most veteran coach and PE teacher, Brian Ponitz, if he wouldn't mind coming tonight. Successful coach, basketball for 14 or 15 years, 16 years maybe, 22 I think in softball, so he's been a varsity coach here in Ellenville a long time. As the interim athletic director, I've had a chance to watch all of the coaches, and we have a very good one in Brian. So I'm going to ask him to come up and join me for any questions you might have. He might be a wealth of knowledge for us as well. So,
Board members? Jody?
I have a couple questions. The instructors, will they need to be first aid and CPR certified since they're doing with sports?
well, I would say yes.
We're going to double check that.
Okay. And then,
Assuming they're teachers, it's easy if they're not sports certified to get them sports certified, though. It's a few courses that they have to take. And
Well,
We-
we'll find
we
out
can
what
do
the
it.
requirements are with regard to intramurals.
okay, and then the other, are these students going to be on the same requirements for eligibility as any clubs?
So they're going to be, the question was, is there going to be eligibility requirements?
Yeah, there's no eligibility list in the elementary.
There is not, okay,
Yeah, there's not.
okay. And the last one, if they're going to be a wait list, so if students sign up and aren't participating, can we at least move on to the next group of students that are eager to try it?
Absolutely. There 100% will be a wait list.
Thank you.
yeah, we'll try to keep it to 40. If we've had more than 40 sign up, somebody, whatever, gets sick or going to be out, we'll.
Thank you.
Iris?
Yeah, I was just wondering, I thought there was open gym in the morning. And so I'm just curious to know where this will take place if it's a, not in.
There's no open gym in the elementary. The open gym is in the middle school gym and in the high school gym.
Oh, just those two?
Yep. 7,
Okay.
12.
Oh, okay, so then that's not an issue. Thank you.
Danny, you had your hand up?
I did. Will the elementary students participating be able to take the high school bus to participate?
Yes.
We envision yes to that. And I think I heard Superintendent Wild say
Yes.
yes. But that was our plan, that some of them may come in. The Principal I thought majority would probably be dropped off.
But
But
we do,
some may come in on the bus, and that
yeah,
would be
we
no
do
problem.
have security, And we do have breakfast that's served early in the elementary school, and we do have a band and chorus that comes in early. So the students would be given the same opportunity to come in on the junior high bus.
And second one is, is there equipment in place should this program go through?
Should the board go with this proposal, we will order, we've got the funds to get what they need. They need some sports-specific requirements that are, as Brian said, they don't hit a number 5 soccer ball, they hit a number 3 soccer ball. They may have, different lighter paddles or whatever, field hockey sticks. So yes, we will definitely outfit them with the equipment they need.
Very exciting. Thank you.
Jody?
How are we going to accommodate the kids that want to do band and chorus and also the intramural?
So there's discussion about that they could go one day as opposed to 2. We have to work out the logistics.
Can we maybe do like an alternating or?
Yeah, so we've been talking about, we'll have to talk to the
'Cause
elementary
I don't
school.
want to have them
I-
not be included in
Right.
this.
We don't want there to be competing interests, so we're
Correct.
looking at that.
We were hoping we could share.
Yes.
Share their time, maybe Tuesday they go
Right.
here. By the way, I looked at it, and the only day, when the 5th grade had band and I didn't bring that sheet with me, I should have. There was only one of the 4 days where there was a
Conflict?
competing
Okay.
conflict, yeah. Only one of the 4.
Great.
Other board members? John?
I think this is a step in the right direction, Ron and Brian, congratulations. I think there's some kinks to be worked out, but will the ability of high school staff to get involved in this be limited by the difference in the starting times? And maybe some of the kids that want to help out, unless they had a first period study hall or something like that.
I think that the starting time will be an issue for high school staff, 100% for sure. I also think that once or twice during a 6-week block, we can get the high school kids some release time, kind of like going to a band lesson or
Right.
something to help out.
Right, thank you.
Anybody else? If not, thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Chason?
The only, in ending, I want the board to know that if it's soccer, the soccer unit, it will be soccer all 4 days, all 4 hours. And I'm giving my personal guarantee of that. I'll be down there watching myself, but we really want to focus on sport-specific activities, the sport that's in that time frame. So,
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Chason.
Thank you.
Brian, thank you. All right, we'll move on to reports and correspondence for myself. I just want to remind the board or tell the board to mark your calendars. We're going to try to have a administrators board retreat on November either 1st or 8th. We do have a regular scheduled meeting on the 8th. If that's the case, we're going to take that meeting and move it to the 1st. Since the 8th may have some conflicts, we know that there's a spaghetti supper that night. It's election day, a couple other things going on. So we might be looking at the 1st as soon as we can get the administrators on board, but we'll notify you in plenty of advance notice to mark, to clean your calendars there so you can be at this board administrators retreat. That's all I have. Anybody else? John?
Yes, just we've got to that point once again where this Saturday, October 15th, is the Ellenville Hall of Fame induction from 11 o'clock to noon on the football field. Again, we've got the 81 football team bringing back a majority of their team. Coach Jack Sovak's going to be inducted, Regina Steele, and A.J. Borriello. And it'd be a great event for the community to come out and show support. Also, following the induction, shortly after there is a varsity football game and then a soccer game after that as well. So it's a nice day. Hopefully we'll get great weather, and I'd love to see the community come out and support this. It's an event that's growing every year. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anybody else, any other board members this evening? Now we'll move on to our student representative, our future congressman, Mr. Jack Henry.
Thank you. We're going to begin the report with student happenings. The 7th and 8th grade assemblies were had to reiterate rules and expectations. Student Support Boutique is now located in the junior high student support office for students to get clothes, jackets, shoes, etc. as needed. On the 24th, the Internet Safety Assemblies are available from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And congratulations to our September Students of the Month, senior class, Paige Van Etten, 11th grade, Lamia Hull, 10th grade, Nathaniel Valdez, 9th grade, Justin Horrell, 8th grade, Nyshawn Abney, and 7th grade, Caleb St. Peter. And we're going to move on to student events in October this month, LGBTQ+, Latino and Hispanic History Month. And we have a big day on the 15th, the Alzheimer's Walk Over the Hudson with Key Club. The buses will depart at 8 a.m. and the walk begins at 10 a.m. As Mr. Burns said, the Hall of Fame induction is at 11 a.m. And then followed by that is a varsity game, football game at 1 p.m. and then the soccer game at 5 p.m. On the 22nd, the homecoming dance is for grades 9 through 12 only from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the senior high school cafeteria. Students are on sale, or tickets are on sale, and only $5. Tickets will also be available at the door, but we encourage students to buy them in advance so we do not sell out. As we shift gears to athletics, the fall sports season is well underway. Coming soon to the lunchroom video screens will be highlights from different games. Be on the lookout for some action-packed short video clips. Winter sports will be starting soon. JV and varsity begins the November 14th, and then modified will start on November 21st. Family ID will be open for JV and varsity on the 14th of October, and then modified will open on the 21st of October. Be sure to sign up. And the school has a new Twitter account, Ellenville Athletics at Blue Devil Sports, where all pictures and daily sporting events are posted. Varsity volleyball on the 6th, the varsity volleyball team defeated Onteora by a final score of 3-0. Modified football won their home game on the 6th by a final score of 27-0. They are undefeated at this time. Cross country, this past Saturday, the boys and girls cross country teams competed at the Lombardo Invitational that is hosted at Saugerties High School. The boys team placed 7th out of 15 teams and had some top finishers. The boys were led by Landon Hemd, who ran at an impressive 5K with a time of 16 minutes and 46 seconds. Landon was only 6 seconds shy of getting the school 5K record. Other notable races came from Jeremy Brazy and Justin Conacher, who both ran respectable performances of 18 minutes and 9 seconds and 18 minutes and 10 seconds, respectively. Rounding out of the top 5 were the Blue Devils, were Anthony Murdoch and Nathaniel Valdez, who both ran great personal best races. The Blue Devils team will be hosting Saugerties this upcoming Wednesday as their last home meet of the season. And finally, we go to our fundraising. Class of 2023, Cornucopa's fundraiser from the 17th to November 1st. See Mrs. Pfeffer Burns or Mrs. Conacher to order. Junior class is selling Krispy Kreme. See Ms. Caban or Mr. McKeever to order. Class of 2025 is selling Little Caesars. See Ms. Ligori or Mrs. Bonnets to order. Class of 2027 is selling Cinnabons. See Ms. Pfeffer Burns to order. And the Student Council Blue Devils merchandise online store includes all new logos plus our district tree crest. At the senior high school Student Council Blue Devils gear, see Ms. Pfeffer Burns or Ms. Reese to order.
I take it back, move over Chris Collingsworth from Sunday Night Football. Here comes Jack Henry.
That might be the most concise, professional report we've ever received.
I think so.
It is.
And all the time on the board. Thank you, Jack.
Well done.
Move on this evening to Superintendent Lisa
So
Wiles.
I have just one thing to report. So today, Jack, your report's going to reflect our meeting today. Today, I met with the advisors of the Student Council, and we talked about the report. And we talked about the procedures with the board, the history of the student representatives for the board. And there is an interest amongst the students and the advisors to take the Student Council to the next level and get involved with more statewide and national initiatives with regard to leadership and conferences. So we hope to have more back to you. And good job tonight. And they did develop a great template to report out now for the board so that it's very cohesive and includes all the activities. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Move on to Assistant Superintendent of Business, Mr. Napoli.
Thank you. There's a letter from Ulster County regarding food waste. We've been identified as, the elementary school has been identified as the only school in Ulster County that has to separate food waste from regular waste rubbish removal. I'm scheduling a conversation with somebody from the county that's going to help me understand how we were chosen, or what the metrics are that the state identified the elementary school as having to do this. And then we have to come up with a plan to separate our food waste from our regular waste. They think that we are generating 3/4 of a ton of food waste a week. That's close to 1,500 pounds out of the elementary school, which I've never measured it, so we'll have to figure out how this is going to work. So we're open for suggestions. There's a local company that does food composting. They do it at the local farmers markets. Businesses can sign up for it. I don't know how much that costs. I have a meeting with the person that's in charge of that tomorrow to find out if there's a cost associated to the school. They might do it for free for the school. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that they will. And I'm hoping to recruit some of the kids from the environmental clubs to maybe help us educate the kids that are in the cafeterias to separate food from garbage.
Jody.
So my question would be, is why are we having so much waste?
I don't know that we are, and that's something that we'll have to look at. When I first became business official, we were weighing, Mr. Dishon and I in the Senior High School Environmental Club, we were weighing the food that comes out of the kitchen, just food scraps alone, and it was 10 or 15 pounds a day. That was just from the processing or the making of our lunches and our breakfasts. So I don't know where these metrics come from, and I'm going to try to have to wrap my head around how we were chosen.
Well, I think they should give us the criteria and the rubric that they use.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to get, right? But I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay. And you'll
Iris?
report back why or how this is
I will
determined?
keep you well informed.
Iris.
I could be wrong, but I was under the impression that this covers all the schools. It's not just picking out one elementary school in Ellenville.
That's what I thought, and when I put an email out to all the other business officials in Ulster County to ask them if they got this letter yet, and none of them got it, and then one of the business officials found a website and shared that link with me, then identified the schools that were identified, and it's only a page long. There's not a lot of schools. So, like I said earlier, I'm trying to wrap my head around what the metrics are and how they chose us, whether it's the number of students and the number of meals. It could be data that we report to state education on the number of breakfasts and number of meals that we serve and the number of students that are in the building. I don't know, because our junior-senior building has about as many students as our elementary school. They both float around 700, give or take some, so I don't know why one building was identified and the other one wasn't.
If I could just follow up, is this a county initiative?
No, it's a state law that goes into effect January 1 of 2023, so, and it's
Because
impacting
the
local.
information is from the county, so
Right.
I'm just wondering if there's someone in the county who could answer your questions. 'Cause
That,
it
I had that
seems-
conversation with the person who sent us that letter
Right.
today. It's a state law, and it's businesses in general, but not all of them. It really depends on whatever the metric is, and once I find out what the metric is,
I'd
then.
like to know.
Then, oh, certainly.
Thank you. John?
Well, we've certainly seen the state pass some foolish laws in the last few years, Vince, but am I to believe that the county has identified us as the only district in Ulster County where our kids aren't eating their vegetables?
I don't know if the county has identified us. I believe it's the state. The county is the organization that's passing on the information to us, but your statement is correct. The Ellenville Elementary School is the only school in Ulster County that's been identified to have to do this.
Is somebody walking around our grounds in sunglasses and undercover measuring vegetable waste or something? This is absurd.
I agree. We've been wanting to do some some composting and some ideas over the years, but it's a very difficult thing to do. You know, it might be easier for a restaurant, everything you do in the kitchen, you can separate it. But to separate what your patrons are disposing, that's really hard. So for our students, they take their tray, they dump it in the garbage, and then they go. We use paper trays. But one of the things that, you know, we've talked about are compostable forks and knives, but there are other things. Juice containers go into the garbage, milk boxes go into the garbage. That's really hard to compost.
Okay.
Thank you. Iris?
It just seems like we need more information before we could really understand what this is, you know?
Agreed.
So when you get it,
I will
just
share.
send it our way.
You bet.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Napoli.
I have another question for Vince.
Yes.
There's another thing on your paper that there was a letter to the Delaware River Solar Project about solar energy facilities and requesting a pilot. And the letter wasn't in the packet, just the notice that we were interested. So could you talk to us about that just a little bit?
Sure. So any time, I can't remember when, it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, there was some legislation passed that if a town or municipality or school wanted to opt out or opt into being enter into a pilot with someone who's doing a commercial solar farm, and currently we have 3 of them in our district, we then have the opportunity to enter into a pilot agreement with them. If we don't send them a letter that we want to enter into a pilot, then that property will most likely go off the tax roll. We won't collect any taxes on it, and then the taxes on that property will then be absorbed by the other taxpayers. So
Right.
we want to go into a pilot with anyone who wants to have a solar farm on property that's here in the district.
And so we have that ability to request that we negotiate a pilot.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Nothing else, Deputy Superintendent Kelly White.
Good evening. I just wanted to give an update regarding PTAC. So we did have the opportunity, Susan Ireland, Katie Cahill, Courtney Vandermark, and I, to meet with key leadership from the Council of Industry, who is one of our grant partners with PTAC. And this year, we're going to continue to work with Ulster BOCES on their steering committee, which is essentially the businesses that support our students. With internships, mentoring, workplace learning challenges, but we will this year work with the Council of Industry to build our own unique steering committee to the Ellenville PTAC Academy. So we'll be looking at local businesses in the Ellenville area as well as surrounding areas. So one of the untapped areas seems to be like the Orange County Middletown area. If you think along like where the Galleria Mall is, there's a lot of manufacturing plants. So we'll be looking into some businesses there that are affiliated with the Council of Industry, hoping to build some relationships to provide our students with opportunities for internships. And for our students that are currently in year 2 of the program, the expectation is next year that they start doing some shadowing, some workplace visits, and some internships. So it's important that we take the time this year to build our steering committee so our students have opportunities set up for next school year.
Thank you.
Quick.
Iris?
You mentioned in your notes that Susan and Katie were invited to speak on a weekly radio show about the Ellenville PTAC Academy. And I'm wondering if that interview is available to put on the Ellenville station?
I will find out. It was on an AM station called Hudson Valley Focus. I'll see if there's a
Yeah,
recording
they may have recorded
of that.
it, and it might be available to us. I'm not sure what the, legal ad thing and all that, I don't know how that goes, but I am always encouraging us to use our radio and TV station more for
Yeah.
many, many reasons. And if they've already taped an interview that's available to us, I'd like to see it put on the
Great idea.
Ellenville radio.
Sure. Yeah, I know one of the questions that was shared was hearing from some of the other schools, there seemed to be a higher population of male students enrolled in PTAC, and we were happy to share that our demographic is a really split 50-50 male and female. which kind of was
That's
not
great.
the norm compared to other schools that have P-TECH programs. So
Well,
that
you
was
know how
exciting.
special we are. We just seem to do it just a little bit better than everybody else in so many ways.
Yeah, so I do know that that was one of the questions that they touched on.
Thank you. Move on. Oh, Mr. Burns.
Yes, one more question, Kelly. Ron Chasen's doing a great job as an interim athletic director and taking the types of initiatives that we saw today, but are we also advertising for an athletic director?
We
We'll be
haven't-
reposting.
Yeah,
We
reposting.
reposted?
Yes.
Okay,
We
thank you.
haven't yet, but we will.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to personnel resolutions for this evening. 6.1, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved the following substitute personnel be appointed for the 22-23 school year. Emily Vosper, Anita
Remove.
Mayfield. It's been
Remove the
moved.
list.
Where are we?
We are on
Substitute.
6.1.
Okay,
It's
thank
been
you.
moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.2, resolve that the Board of Education hereby amends the September 27, 2022 resolution set forth as agenda item 6.2 under personnel to reflect that Jill Furman be appointed as a long-term substitute teacher through to January 31st, 2023.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Second. Discussion? I find that we do a lot of these come back to the resolutions. Is there a reason that we keep having to put these resolutions back up and we're amending these resolutions?
We're looking at it. I think that this was omitted, that upon the return of the teacher, we thought it was important to include that.
Thank you.
Does this affect union contract language where the person in the position stays on if that becomes a full-time position or anything like that?
No.
Nothing like that?
No.
Okay.
And if that was the case, if there's somebody in a long-term position and then it became a unencumbered position, we would normally enter into an agreement for them to continue on until we do a search.
So what happens if the teacher doesn't come back by July 31st, 2020? January 31st,
January 31st,
2020?
2023,
Yeah.
we will, that's what she said, she's coming back. If she doesn't, there'll be another board resolution extending
Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved that the attached list of junior, senior high school extended day personnel be approved at a rate of $44 per hour work, 22-23 school year.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Second.
Discussion?
Kelly, are we getting any feedback on how this extended day is helping out? As I know it's early in the year, but we've had it before. Are we getting numbers? Are we seeing any progress in grades, those types of things?
So I know at the junior, senior high, they shifted their model a bit last year to have content-specific AIS. So we can look at some data for that. But these programs for this year are just getting lifted off the ground. Historically, it was like a open math and open, I think, for math and science. And so now we try to have something for each content area, but we can gather some data on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved the following teachers be appointed for the January Regents Review at a contractual rate of $55 per hour worked, not to exceed 2 hours per week per subject, effective December 1 through January 23rd, 2023. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
It's been moved. A second? Do I have a second? Seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the appointment of Nora Zemanecki, registered nurse, be made permanent following successful
moved.
probation. It's been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the appointment of Tiffany Fernandez, cafeteria monitor, be made permanent
So
following a
moved.
successful probationary period, effective October 31st, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved, seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the appointment of Corinne Dombrowski, teacher aide, be made permanent following successful probationary.
moved.
Been moved,
Second.
seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved the resignation of Stacy Hilton, Assistant Principal, be accepted effective October 28, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved, seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved the resignation of Hillary Ramming as the Junior Senior High School Environmental Club Advisor be accepted effective October 6, 2022.
Second.
Been moved, seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved the resignation of Linda Houseworth as the Junior Senior High School Student Council Advisor be accepted effective October 11, 2022.
Second.
Moved, seconded, discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved the co-curricular personnel as set forth in the attached list be approved at the contractual rates for the 22-23 school year.
Move the list as presented.
Second.
List has been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Be resolved that Maria Russo Lewis be approved for the use of unpaid leave under the Family Medical Act for a period commencing of October 17, 2022 and ending on November 10, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Be resolved that Brittany L. Spoor be approved for the use of intermittent leave under the Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA, for the period not to exceed 12 work weeks or 60 work days commencing on September 12, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that Aaron Desarme be appointed for home tutoring for the 2022-23 school year at the contractual rate.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved the MOA between Ellenville Central School District and the ETS RPA Teachers Unit be approved. Do we have a motion to table? Have a motion to table?
Second.
And it's been moved and seconded to table. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. The motion is tabled till the next meeting. Under 7.1, resolve the attached list of student IEPs be acknowledged as appropriate. There are 24.
Move the list as presented. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Under other resolutions, resolved that the Board of Education reestablish the following reserve funds effective October 11, 2022. Be it further resolved, the district reserve plan be adopted as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Move seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Resolved the snow plowing bid contract be with H. Osterhout Excavating be extended for the 22-23 school year at a 0% increase.
So moved.
Second.
And moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Waiver of conflict of interest. Anybody want to move this?
Could you read a little bit of it?
Okay. All right. Well,
Sending me off there, Phil.
whereas Thomas Drohan Waxman Pettigrew O'Malley presently represents the Ellenville Central School District as General Counsel, and whereas Thomas Drohan Waxman Pettigrew O'Malley also serves as Labor Counsel to the Village of Ellenville, and whereas the district has requested that Thomas Drohan Waxman Pettigrew O'Malley to draft an intermunicipal agreement which will permit the district access to the village's police officers as school resource officers, and whereas requires the village and district to waive any potential conflict of interest before the performance of this task.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Resolved that this be considered the first reading of policy 5410 under purchasing.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Resolved that this be considered the first reading of policy 1530 under minutes.
So moved.
Been moved, seconded, discussion. All those in,
I
Oh,
just,
Iris.
they're in the policy, and I just did a quick read of it tonight, but there's something about if you take a formal vote in executive session, that you have to account for that in public somehow. I never realized that. I thought if you look at if the action is taken by formal vote in executive session, minutes are available to the public and made available via the website within 1 week.
So there are requirements now in the law, hence the change, that minutes be posted up, even if they are unofficial minutes, that they be posted up within a week or two. I thought it was 2 weeks, but I'll go back and look at this. And then there are some disclosures for when you have action, which is minimally an executive session. So we'll take a look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one, motion carries. 6.6, additional bus run, 5:45. Here we go. Whereas the Ellenville Central School District requires an additional bus run at 5:45.
So moved.
It's been
Second.
moved and seconded. Discussion? Iris.
This is for after-school activities, particularly sports? Is that why the bus run?
Yes. So we had, I think we had spoken about this some time ago. There's a conflict with the use of the gym at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So the elementary school gym was used for basketball practice, and the gym has to be used in the elementary school. So there's a need to use the gyms a little bit later and have the students have accessibility to get home from those practices
Okay.
for the winter season.
Okay.
We used to have a 5:45
Yeah.
run, and we're going to pilot it out here for this and see what the need is.
Okay.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. And now, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Excess item for disposal.
Motion to move 8788 and 89 concerning the excess item for disposal and the 2 corrections to the tax rolls.
Been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 8.10, resolved that the students participating in the Go Beyond Greatness program be approved to travel out of state to Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland on October 29, 2022.
So moved.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Mark your calendars. The next meeting date is October 25th, 2022. I do have to ask, we have to return to executive session for one quick item the superintendent has requested. I will entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session.
So moved.
Not to reconvene in public session. It's been
Second.
moved. Seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? We're adjourned.